Hey guys, I got a couple of questions recently and figured I'm gonna address them in the video. In case you're wondering, or if you hear any funny noises, I need to have the window open. It's really hot in New York City right now, so if you hear something, you know where it's coming from. Let's get into the video. What do you do if you're invited somewhere or need to go somewhere with dressier clothes? That's a really good question. If you've seen my wardrobe video, you know that I don't own anything that other people would perceive as dressy, and really all my life I've never been to an event that would call for dressy clothing. So for me, that's simply not something that I think about. I don't need to have fancy or dressy clothing around because I simply don't go to dressier events. That being said, if I were to be invited to a really fancy event, I would simply go to a local thrift shop or would ask a friend and borrow something. However, if that's something that's on your schedule, if you are attending fancier events or events that call for dressier clothing on a regular basis, then of course it might be handy to have a handful of outfits around. For me, it simply isn't, because I never go to events that would call for dressier clothing. Don't the grays and blacks bore you at some stage? Really good question. If you were to look at my childhood photos when I was around 9, 10, 11 years old, you would see that I've been rocking black, grays, and other darker colors ever since. I've been wearing it consistently for 3 years almost, and those are the colors that I personally really enjoy. I perceive blacks and grays as calming and then very soothing, and that's why I choose to wear what I wear. Wear whatever you love, wear whatever you feel comfortable in, and in the same sense that you probably don't get bored of really colorful clothing, I don't get bored of blacks and grays. I wonder why you moved to New York City. Is there any video uploaded explaining that to your audience? That is a brilliant question. I moved to New York City for 2 reasons. The first one being money. I knew that I would be able to get a better paid position in New York City than I would have been able to find in London. And after living in London for 2 years, my husband and I decided that it would be best if I were to apply for a green card and move to New York City. And that has worked out fine. And the second reason is simply location. My husband and I wanted to live in the same place. We wanted it to be fairly convenient, and while the green card process was incredibly expensive and long, New York City is a good place. Out of all the places that we considered, New York City was a great choice, and that is why I ended up packing my things and moved to New York City. That, in a nutshell, is why I moved to New York City. Obviously, there are other reasons that I'm not gonna share on camera, personal reasons. And in short, money and location were 2 of the main reasons why I ended up moving to New York City. I hope that explains it. Do you have to do a lot of washing? I packed light for my last trip, but had to do laundry every couple of days. If I go away for a week, I pack clothing for a week. If I go away for 2 weeks, I pack clothing for a week. If I go away for 4 weeks, 2 months, I pack clothing for just 1 week. Why? Because I do my laundry once a week. Whether I'm at home or traveling, I don't do it every couple days. I prefer to do my laundry just once a week. And so when I travel or when I'm somewhere else, that doesn't change. I still do it once a week. Traveling light and packing light to that is key. I tend to pack items that don't take up a lot of space. I wear my bulkiest items, and I wear things over and over and over again until they really need washing. I'm not one to wear a t-shirt for a day and it still just smells perfectly fine and put it in the washer. No, I wear something until it really needs washing, and I pack enough clothing to last me a week. That doesn't mean that I would pack 2 t-shirts for every single day or a t-shirt for every day even. That just means that I would pack enough clothing so that I can go a whole week without having to wash. I try not to gossip so much about other people. It's difficult at work. There's always someone gossiping. I want to focus on myself and my work. Do you have some advice? Do you gossip? Liebe Grüße aus Deutschland. I did answer to that comment in writing. I just found it to be a really, really good question and felt like answering it on video as well. Usually when groups of people or individuals are gossiping, I either remove myself from the conversation, I read a book, I do whatever needs to be done. And sometimes when I'm, let's say, alone with someone and I cannot just walk away, I would kindly address whatever we're talking about. I would say maybe one nice thing about whatever we're talking about and would gently try to move the conversation on to something else. If that doesn't work, I would simply be honest. I would say, I would rather not indulge in this conversation right now. Would you mind focusing on something else? I would prefer to talk about this or talk about that instead of this other thing that we just talked about, that I don't want to indulge in and I don't want to use my energy for, if that makes sense. I always practice to stay away from gossiping and any of that sort, really. That was a really long answer to a fairly simple question. As I said, my suggestions really are to remove yourself from the conversation, and if you can't, to redirect the conversation onto something else, something a little better, something more valuable than gossiping about someone else. And that's it for today's video. Those are questions that stuck out to me and that I simply wanted to answer in a video. Have a lovely day and see you guys next time. Bye. Oh, if you have any questions, you can always ask me, you can always email me, you can always drop a comment down below. I will get back to you in writing and or in video format. I hope you enjoyed. Have a lovely day and see you guys next time.